Hey, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got me, the sexiest man on all of Internet Wrestling Radio, Boom Boom, here shaking the room, live from the RVA, Richmond, Virginia. And of course, join me there, way across the pond, Kawasaki, Japan, none other than Dave Koco. What's up, brother?
Nothing much. One thing I just want to pre-warn everyone: I might drop out. My internet has been acting up here in Kawasaki, and we usually have like the best internet in the world, but it's like messed up 6 or 7 times. Boo Boom even had to set up this show. With that said, I've had a rough life, but I've also had a very lucky life. And there's been some great moments. I've got to meet every president from Ronald Reagan up to Donald Trump and everyone in between. I've been to over 30 countries. I went to universities I had no business going to, and I didn't even have parents to pay for it. That's a topical joke, Boom Boom. And I ran businesses, and I got to work for giant corporations, and I've lived a pretty good life. I met Bear Friend, who has been great to me. Have 3 beautiful kids. And the greatest day of my life was Okada finally winning the title back. It all meant nothing. It meant nothing when Jay White was champion. Finally, it's back to normal. Finally, we can stop. Listen. All right, listen. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to be you New Japan fans. I got you. You know how, when a country takes away all the guns and you have a period to give away the gun, whatever. Let's say something's illegal, and then they give you a time limit to, turn that illegal thing in.
Yeah, grace period or an amnesty.
This is the grace period right now. Let's be completely honest. You only said Jay White was good because you love New Japan so much. This is the grace period. It's okay. It's okay to come back. Papa Okada has the title. Everything is fine. All right. We could push Naito to the moon and Ibushi to the moon, and that's it. Everyone else fucking cake. Okay. You're not on that fucking level. Let's be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the grace period. If you just write in the comments that, you know what? I just did it because Dave's a dick. I'll take that as an apology. Just be like, Dave's a dick, and I fucking had to ride this shit through. But everything is awesome once again. Thank baby Jesus. Thank everyone. Just there's no one. You know what? Boom, boom. I have a list of people I'd like to thank. The human race. Thank you. Thank you for fucking just thank you. But Boobs, rumor has it we have a lot of pro wrestling to talk about.
Dude, yeah, we do. This is the first time we've actually spoken with each other since Mania Weekend. We did like a little preview going into it last week. Mania Weekends happened, and now because of jobs and time differences and different fucking hemispheres, this is the first time we've actually been able to sit down and talk since this. So, there's just a lot to take in, but there's actually some, I don't want to call it breaking news, but a big update this morning. Is that there's a rumor going around, and this was via a Twitter user called the Fight Oracle, which is believed to be a new account from a guy who got suspended. It's an quote-unquote insider of MMA, Front Row Brian, is saying that All Elite Wrestling, they actually have a TV deal. It's going to be with Turner Sports, and it's supposed to be announced at the Warner's media. It was some kind of meeting, the Warner's Media Upfronts on May 15th, which will be about 10 days before Double or Nothing. So it's looking like AEW's TV show is going to be announced for either TNT or TBS. It's looking like it's going to be on a Tuesday night because they've trademarked the name Tuesday Night Dynamite. And it's also should be the same week or same time, or right around the same time when SmackDown moves from Tuesday nights over to Friday nights.
I just want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag fucking obvious. I don't think this is a scoop. I think this is like the most obvious thing.
Well, Coco,
and it doesn't fucking happen.
The scoop isn't necessarily is the TV deal. The scoop is necessarily it's what network it's on, because people were saying, oh, it's going to be something like, TNA had, or Impact, excuse me, it's going to be something like the Pursuit Channel or Pop or something like that, that not everybody gets. Well, TNT and TBS are part of virtually every basic cable subscription package.
See, here's the thing. I'm not so fast, my fellow friend. Maybe it's just me, but if I was a Vegas betting man, they had to be the favorite. I almost thought it was like a shock if it wasn't Turner. Maybe I'm just being a dick.
Well, I think you are being a dick, because we didn't know who they were talking to.
No, I know. I'm saying if you had a percentage. Boom, boom. Let's rewind the clock.
Mm-hmm.
How high of a percentage would Turner be? I was like, oh yeah.
I don't know. They said they were talking to several people. I mean, remember, there was people thinking it might have been WGN, because they had WGN execs at All In, and they remember they streamed like the first, or broadcasted the first hour of All In over on WGN when they did that event. And then it's like, okay, if you want to watch the rest of this, you have to go to the Fight Network or whatever, get the pay-per-view. So there was talks about that. There were talks about, what other, was it going to lined on a little piddly ass channel? Well, now we're talking either TBS or TNT. And this is also huge, because remember when Ted Turner was trying to compete with Vince McMahon, that's where, WCW Saturday Night was on TBS, later Thursday Night Thunder. And then, of course, Monday Nitro wound up on TNT. So, I mean, the fact that Turner, that not only is it going to be like on a major channel that a lot of people get with basic cable packages, it's wrestling's returning to, I mean, think about it. They got rid of this. They got rid of wrestling. They wanted nothing to do with, but back during the AOL Time Warner merger, they got rid of wrestling. And that's why, that's part of the reason why WCW died. They were tired of dealing with it. They wanted it off the network. Now that those people have kind of been cleaned out, now it's coming back. That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. No. I just, maybe I'm naive, but I think outside of WWE super fans, I think like everyone knew AEW was going to get a title. I mean, not a title shot, but a cable deal. You know what I mean? I don't know. I wish him the best of luck, and I can't wait for the announcement. So I'm really excited about it. And I like the fact, I know a lot of people are bitching, but I like the fact that when a shitty segment happens, there's an AEW chant, because that's what ECW was. And here's the thing. Even if you're a super pro WWE fan, let's just say you are a diehard WWE fan, and there's a lot of people that way.
Right. How
the fuck is them chanting AEW on shitty segments, them fucking trying to, because Vince and WWE are way better with competition. And maybe the fans are too young to remember that. Like, if I was a WWE loyalist, I would fucking be like, oh God, I'm so happy AEW. Because ECW, WCW, dude, they made WWE a lot better. So even if you're like, I'll never watch AEW, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a WWE loyalist, but if I was a WWE loyalist, I'd be excited for AEW. Because then I'd be like, oh, fuck, the shitty segments are fucking over. This is fucking over, So, yeah, even if you love WWE and you're not willing to give anything else a shot, you should still want other stuff out there, because God, WWE is fucking horrible with no legit competition. It is god awful. There's legit competition. Bow. They start turning it around. If you're like, oh, I love the Attitude Era, the Attitude Era would have never happened without ECW and WCW. I mean, Vince and your documentaries and your bullshit WWE network might be convincing a younger generation. No, it would happen. It wouldn't. They would have stuck with Doink the Clown. And I'm not knocking these guys, but they would have stuck with character-driven wrestlers not giving a fuck. You know what I mean? That's what they would have stuck with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then when they had no competition, what do you think John Cena, Randy Orton, and Dave Bautista were? They were just characters that didn't give a fuck. So, I don't know. Even if you're a WWE loyalist, you have to be happy for.
Yeah, can I get something off my chest here a little bit about AEW? It's not necessarily about AEW, but what's going on around it is this fucking manufactured controversy that people are trying to gin up. Oh, AEW is going after Vince McMahon. They're trying to take out Vince McMahon. No, they're not. Nobody with AEW has ever said that they are looking to compete with Vince. They are nobody. I'm talking people from Tony Khan all the way down to the executive vice presidents, Cody Rhodes, even just like talent. Like, no, we're just doing our own thing. We have our vision of what we think professional wrestling should be, and that's what we're trying to do. And to be honest, WWE is not really worried about AEW because, they're number one. They're number one by fucking miles. They're like on the neck. They're on fucking Mars. They're so fucking far ahead of AEW. The only thing that concerns WWE as far as AEW is concerned is they don't want to lose any of their talents to them. That's the only thing. Everything else, they're set. And people are trying to gin up this controversy. It's just, to me, it's laughable. You're trying to make something, that's not. They're trying to make something that's not there. And I think got another one, but I'll let you respond. Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm sorry. I just want to say there's two reasons why. One, they're so young, the younger generation that's never seen WWE have legit competition. Or two, they're so old, they miss the competition. I think those are the two groups, I think, that are like, this is legit competition. Meanwhile, like, everyone in between or not so extreme is like, no, it's not competition. But can I just say one more thing and I'll let you take over, sir?
Okay.
I've never referenced Marvel Cinematic Universe ever on this show. This is the first time, Boom Boom. I never referenced it once.
Wow, we're going to make a Marvel reference. What the hell? I can't wait for this.
A lot of people don't realize Marvel in the movies was number 2 by a lot. And when they came in with Iron Man, they're like, I just want to make the best Iron Man movie you can make. And then they surpassed everything, and it became fucking amazing. Now, when DC was number 2, some people think it's still not number 2. Those people are fucking in denial, all right? We call those Jay White fans. All right? When fucking DC was number 2, they didn't say we're going to make a great movie. They're like, let's just rush to cinematic universe. I think the fact that AEW is like, no, we're just going to focus on making the best product ever is the same way Marvel did with Iron Man. So if you want to be legit competition for WWE, you need Ted Turner type bucks, which, Ted Turner was a different type of rich at a different type of time. You know what I mean? Or you need to go the Marvel Cinematic Universe route. You have to be like, oh, we're not going to rush to WWE. Let's just make the best product we can right now. And I think that's why I have faith in AEW, because besides signing Jim Ross, and I am not in the majority of opinions on this, they made every right move. And some people are like, well, the signing Jim Ross is the right move. And I know, unlike the Jay White situation, I am in the minority about that opinion. I think every move AEW has made has been almost perfectly delivered, considering the situations. But I do not wave the Jim Ross flag, and I know I'm in the minority on that.
Right.
Booms, you got more stuff to say, brother, about this?
Yeah, the only other thing I got, and this is from like WWE defenders, not WWE fans. There are people who legitimately like WWE, and if you do, God bless you. That's your thing. That's cool. I'm cool with that. I can't stand WWE defenders, and Dave and I have spoken about what we call WWE defenders is all these people who are delusional, who are, help me out with the air finger quotes, who are in the business, who act like they fucking know everything, and they treat like Vince McMahon's success is their success, because if they can feel like if they back WWE's like shit, it's like, oh, well, you're stupid. You just don't see what it is, and they treat, everything, WWE does is just absolutely flawless when it's not. They do have their faults, and that's who we're directing this towards. I have a problem with WWE defenders. They constantly move the goalpost when it comes to AEW. It's like, well, they're not going to sell out. Well, all elite sell, not all elite, all in sells out in like 30 minutes. Well, a lot of that went to scalpers. but they sold out, and boom, there's the fucking packed arena. Well, it was only a one-off. Well, it looks like they're going to be doing this a little bit. Well, they don't have the money. Well, okay, we got the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars backing them. Well, they don't have a TV deal. Well, it looks like they're getting. Well, it's just going to be a really small network. No, it's looking like it's going to be TBS or TNT. Well, not everybody's going to watch it, and it's just like. Well, no, that's a pretty big network. Well, you got a lot of no-name stars in there. It's like, well, you've got Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks. You got Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes. So well, they're just indie darlings, and I'm just like, at what fucking point are you going to stop fucking bitching? I mean, it's one thing because every time you set the goalpost, AEW, whether you want them to or not, somehow meets expectations or surpasses them. And then you fucking move the goalpost back a few more yards, and then they come back to it again, and then you keep moving it. I mean, I personally think, guys, are you not fucking embarrassed by now?
Well, not a lot, but New Japan fans have been dealing with that forever.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, once they have English commentary, it's just, I think, and I've said this a million times, and it might be on my tombstone. WWE success is not your success.
Dude, I'm running out of room on your tombstone, by the way.
Oh, I added more. Mistakes were made.
I've never watched
Subscribe to Koco Plays.
I've never watched a single episode of Total Divas.
You know what? I'm proud of that. I am really proud of that.
I'm running out of room on that thing.
It's going to be the largest tombstone ever. Oh, what else there was something else. I was subscribed. I think subscribe to Koco Plays is the new one. So yeah. Go ahead. By the way, Booms, we're in the Stanley Cup Finals, 100 episodes of Fire Pro Wrestling. We're not even at 200 subscribers yet, Booms. Not even at 200 subscribers. And Booms, I'm moving to Twitch as soon as I win this Stanley Cup with the Turtles.
Nice.
There.
Nice.
Making it happen. And KocoSports is being worked on, and I'm trying to slowly but surely move back to full-time nerding. It's going to take a while because I'm fat, old, and unmotivated, but we're going to move slowly. We're moving slowly. So like, comment, subscribe to everything.
You just had the best segue ever because speaking of fat, slow, and unmotivated, did you hear the shit that superstar Billy Graham said this past week?
No, but I can imagine by your headlines what it was.
Dear God.
All right, let's go on.
Okay, as you know, at Mania, Kofi Kingston just did the unbelievable, man. He defeated Daniel Bryan and became the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I mean, it's just, congratulations to him. Long time coming. But then superstar Billy Graham got on the social medias and said that, and I'm going to paraphrase here, and he criticized WWE for having and I'm quoting here, 145-pound champion. And then he went on, he kept going, because I understand that's an old, and he says, "My man, I urge you to start doing some steroids and add about 50 pounds of solid muscle to your championship body. Vince won't care, honestly. Actually, he would be quite pleased with the muscular transformation, as I predicted that you, young man, will have the longest run as WWE champion in modern day history." And I'm like everybody else. I thought, dude, he's got to be just being sarcastic as fuck, just kind of going over the top. And some people criticized it, rightfully so. And then he said, then what Billy Graham doesn't understand is when you find yourself in a hole, the first thing you should do is stop digging. Because it was one of those, maybe you could have just wrote it off. Okay, it's a different time. He's just, going over the top. He's just trying to tell the WWE champion doesn't look like, everybody else muscular wise. He needs to bulk up a little bit. That's just an extreme measure, being, completely sarcastic. But then he doubled down. Here's what he said. And this is a long quote, but please bear with me, everybody. "So let me address a few concerns some fans have about my advice to Kofi to bulk up a bit by using some steroids. Please notice that I urged Kofi to use some steroids, but never told him to abuse them like I did. Please notice the two WWE greats in the photos below," and he posted pictures here, "of John Cena, 16-time World Heavyweight Champion, appears to me to be very massive. Do you think he might have been a little juiced in this photo? Of course, but no one is complaining about Vince's golden boy being all roided up. Or do you look at simply? He is
definitely not subscribed to KocoSports.
Yeah. And
He's definitely not.
yeah,
Go on.
and Mr. Dave Batista posing with me backstage here in Phoenix. You think old Dave might be a little on the juice in this shot? No one is complaining here. Again, you all just forgot, didn't you? And I'm just like, you've got to be. I'm just like, no, don't no. I mean, that's like me saying, that'd be like Coco going, man, Booms, man, I'm really tired all the time. I need to stay awake. I got to get more writing done. I'm getting worn down at work and falling behind in my writing. I want to spend more time with my kids. It's just like my biggest problem is just 24 hours in a day. And I go, well, Dave, have you ever considered smoking crystal meth? That kind of stuff will give you this big pick me up. And, suddenly, 24 hours in a day don't mean shit. You'll be up like 3-4 fucking days at a time. You can get all this shit knocked out. You can get all your writing knocked out. You can go, spend 12 hours with your kids. Man, you can take the bear friend out and all that stuff. It's like, and the people are like, Booms, that's like the worst advice ever. You just told Dave to fucking smoke crystal meth. Well, no. I told him to smoke just a little bit of crystal meth. I didn't tell him to become a full-blown addict. I'm just saying just enough to get his shit done. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? Billy Graham, of all fucking people. It's like, well, don't abuse him like I did. It's like, the guy was roided out of his goddamn mind for the fucking 70s and the fucking 80s. He had to retire in the fucking 80s. And since then, it's been well documented, his list of health problems. He did so much fucking steroids, he made himself sterile. I mean, he can't have sex with his wife, period. I mean, he fucking made himself impotent. He's had a history of liver issues, mobility issues, internal bleeding issues. And then he's going to turn around and go, that guy looks a little skinny. Maybe he should do some steroids too. Oh, don't do it. I took it a little too far. But I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah. All right. I see your point. I don't know. This is going to be tough because I'm going to read something from Jerry. Jerry sent something about this. I have mixed feelings about it because it isn't, a competitive sport and you have to protect each other. So to me, if you're stronger, you can protect. Second, it is about looks for the WWE. It isn't for me. It isn't for Boom Boom. It isn't for most people. But it is, it is a looks type thing. 3, the thing of steroid use versus steroid abuse is a legit argument to be had. Now, I don't think he's the one that should be having it, but it's a legit argument to have because if you don't abuse steroids and you're past your 30s, there's a lot of benefits to it. And a lot of countries, it is legal. You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, But here's the problem. Almost everybody abuses it. You know what I mean? It's not like, hey, just take this. And that's not even just athletes, but just people in general. People are like, oh, here's pain medicine. Oh, I'm addicted. Here, you know what I mean? And
No, wait a minute. Are you talking about steroid use in general? Or are you talking about steroid use as prescribed by a doctor?
I'm talking about a fine line. Like, I think there are benefits for athletes
yeah. I mean, there are
to take steroids.
Yeah, there are
but I think it's really hard.
acceptable.
Well, not even that, but like,
are you talking about for just like recreational purposes?
No, I'm talking about healing. Like I'm saying, there are benefits to steroids, but it's so hard not to abuse it. You know what I mean? That's my point.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's kind of like the opioid epidemic that we're facing here in the world right now is people they use it for legitimate purposes, but once that prescription expires, they're kind of hooked, and then they're just kind of leads to some kind of addiction, leads to kind of a chemical dependency. Is that kind of like the road you're going down?
Yeah, I'm going with that. I'm going with that road, but even not doctor. Like I think because like some countries, steroids is not illegal, but the thing is, no teenager should be using it, and athletes can use it after a certain age. But the problem is, the doctors won't give it to you, or they'll give it to you under the counter, and the people won't do it the right way. because like when he's like, don't do steroid abuse, but you could use it, there is benefits to it, you know? But the problem is everyone I know abuses it. You know what I mean? Because in Japan, steroids are really easy to come by. And some people, very few, use it correctly. If you're a teenager, don't use it at all. You're just fucking damaging your body because you can recover faster. There are benefits. That's what I think he's trying to say. But the problem is no one fucking follows the right way to do it. Like, I'm just making this up. If you're like, take 2 of these a week and you will perform better at recovery, because it recovers you a lot more than it builds muscle. You're actually building the muscle, but it recovers so fast that you can build muscle faster. So, like, there are benefits to it. And I think, I don't want to be like a 1980s say no to drugs campaign, but no one does just 2. And I'm just using that number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, if you do 2 a week, this benefits you. But once you start looking great, once you start getting stronger, once you start improving, once you start getting healed, you're like, well, I'll do 3. I'll do 4. I'll do 5.
I think if Billy Graham would have just said, look, Kofi, I think he should bulk up. It's like, here, I'd recommend, here's some protein powder you should try, some creatine you should try. Here's a different type of exercise regimen I would recommend to kind of bulk up. I think that would have been fine. But to go out, I mean, like you said, it's like there's a fine line with like steroid abuse. I mean, just looking at the National Institute of Drug Abuse, I mean, just the risk completely outweigh the benefits. I mean, you look at mental effects such as paranoia, extreme irritability, delusions, impaired judgment, mania. You're looking at kidney problems, liver problems, enlarged heart, shrinking testicles, decreased sperm count, balding, development of breast, increased risk for prostate cancer. And if you go to women, I mean, you look at it, chances of facial hair, also baldness, changes in the menstruation cycle, deepened voice. In teens, you're looking at stunted growth. I mean, there's just the list goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And I'm just saying, if that's all the stuff you're facing, I would rather just go hit the weight bench than try to walk that fine line.
Yeah. But that's a great point of saying it. It can be beneficial, but walking that fine line is almost next to impossible.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like any other drug. If it's prescribed by a doctor and used according to the doctor's directions, it's beneficial. But if abused, if not used properly, it just takes you down a fucking rabbit hole.
So, this is from Jerry. I can't be on your podcast, but Kofi could use some bulking up. I had the same issue with Ray's title reign. Just because they stopped saying heavyweight when they announce it still doesn't mean it's not the heavyweight title. Let's see. I'm sorry. How come weight matters in one division, 205 for cruisers, but not the heavyweights? Also, there's a big difference between steroid use and abuse. Kofi and Steinerisms, chest gap, and could use some help to build muscle back there. So I think when it comes to pro wrestling, the most talented guy should have it. But size does matter, because like if Brock Lesnar does a move that Rey Mysterio does, people go crazy. Especially in the WWE universe. I don't think it's as big in other universes, other companies, but I think in WWE it's really big. Especially with Vince McMahon, Triple H running it,
Mm-hmm.
But you could still look rip and not take steroids. It just takes crazy diet and it takes crazy determination.
Yep.
And then you have to sell people looking good,
Right.
So
and another thing I learned, and this is something I learned when I started, actually working out and weightlifting, is that the people that you see that are just, ungodly, just jacked, you know what I'm talking about? Is, assuming they're not on any kind of performance enhancing substances, for you to get, that way, I mean, there's a lot that has to go into that. I mean, you have to have a very disciplined diet. and exercise regimen. And there's a lot of supplements and stuff that you have to take to get that kind of figure, to get that kind of form. You just don't go and fucking work out a lot and you turn out like that. I mean, there's a lot of shit that goes into that. And that's the reason why, Dave and I, don't look that, even though we work out, it's just, I mean, there's just a level of dedication, and plus it's expensive. I mean, that shit, that fucking supplement, that shit ain't fucking cheap.
Yeah.
To do that stuff every day, and you're looking at, I mean, what do you call it? Not active fasting, where you have several small meals throughout the day. What's that?
I don't know. I just got to get so many calories in. The Rock is really famous for that.
Yeah, that's how The Rock,
Yeah, so I find it really interesting.
Bottom line is, for one, I can't believe that, WWE hasn't responded, because he basically accused John Cena and Dave Bautista of using steroids.
No, they won't. They won't, because
I'm surprised they haven't said anything.
Oh, they're never going to say anything.
Well, when I say something, I mean, they at least need to deny it. It's like, we've heard comments by Billy Graham.
No.
We don't encourage steroid abuse. We say that we have a drug policy. These guys have passed.
Maybe they'll say that, but they will never say John Cena and Dave Bautista.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm surprised WWE didn't come out all defensive and be like, look, Billy Graham says they were on steroids. We will swear to you right now, we've got drug tests, tell you otherwise. They didn't. So we don't encourage. I'm surprised they haven't come back on that yet.
No, they'll never. No, never in a million years. Because then they have to prove they never did it, and that is a can of worms they do not want to go. Because if you
got like a file of it, and you could be like, well, in this time in 2016, this picture's Billy Graham said that John Cena was on steroids, and this picture was taken in 2016. Well, here's all the drug tests that John Cena took in 2016. As you can see, all of them come up negative for any kind of substances, and I'm surprised that they haven't done that. That's all I'm saying.
This is a can of worms they do not want to open. Because if you think John Cena and Dave Bautista weren't all natural, then yeah. This is a can of worms that they want to look the other way. You know what? I'm not a big Vince McMahon fan. I'm not a big WWE fan at times. I will challenge them to fucking do it. I would. I'd love to see it go to court. Yeah. Good luck, but they are going to ignore this more than they ignore Chris Benoit and CM Punk's love child. They're going to look the other way. They're like, whoop, just keep walking by. Yeah.
But just bottom line, I just found Billy Graham's comments to be completely just irresponsible. And especially for someone, who knows the hazards of steroids, to tell somebody else to get, to do that, it, to me, is beyond reckless.
Yeah. I'm not as passionate as you, just because I've been around athletes and I know how it works. So, like, I'm not as passionate as you. I don't think he should have said it. I don't think he's 100% wrong. Just what he's asking Kofi to do is illegal in the country that Kofi lives in. It is against the WWE rules. And, yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like just, I don't know. I understand where he's coming from, but, like, it's just dumb. It's just, because, like, the thing is, it's like, because a lot of, in the writing business, the drug of choice is cocaine. Like, editors, that's not fair. That's not fair. People in the writing business will hint very strongly at making a deadline with cocaine.
Really? I thought you'd be using pixie sticks, knowing you.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't, but a lot of people do. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. To me, know what it is. What he says is true, but it's next to impossible and definitely illegal. You know what I mean? So, because, and all that, but a lot of times Kofi Kingston might be doing steroids, but he's just doing it to recover. I'm not saying he is, but a lot of times people are like, oh, well, he got busted for steroids. He doesn't look like he takes steroids. Well, he's just not working out, doing the diet right. You know what I mean? Or maybe his body's reacted to it differently. But yeah, but oh god, WWE is gonna. I would love it. I would absolutely love it if they were like, yeah, we're taking you to court to prove John Cena, Dave Bautista are clean. Okay, they're not, dude. Christmas ain't gonna come early. Boom boom. Christmas is not gonna come early. All right, but they're natural. I assure you.
All right. All right, now let's move on to something a little bit happier here. And I mentioned this is the first.
Do you want to go to live comments before? I don't know if we have any.
I'll take a look at because that's going to be a good segue in. So here we go. Kevin Buchanan. Now he wanted to say, I think steroids have gone to the superstar's head. So that's a good point.
Yeah, an abuse of it. Yeah.
And Patrick Gahan, I've just butchered his name. I apologize. He says, best show of the weekend, got to be TakeOver. And then, of course, we got Rick 1982 talking about a little bit about the G1 Super Show and the future of New Japan, the fallouts from the Super Card. So Dave Koco actually reviewed NXT TakeOver. You can find that back in the archive sections here on KocoSports.com. So if you've not heard his review of it, I would encourage you to go back and check that out. One of the things I wanted to talk about, because Dave Koco hasn't talked about it, and I wanted to get his thoughts on it here, is the G1 Super Card. That was the collaboration event between Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling at Madison Square Garden on the Saturday before Mania. And Koco, did you check it out?
Yeah, I checked it out. I wasn't sure if
you spoiled it, by the way. You spoiled the main event. Not that was much of a spoiler, but you should have seen it. He sent out like a message on Facebook. Okada got the championship belt on him. It's like, oh, the earth is spinning correctly on its axis again.
Dude, hey, first off, I wasn't sure if I was going to watch it. A lot of my friends talked me into it. I strongly, Jay White might become a great wrestler one day. But at this point in time, I will, if he improves, I'll be the first one. I think The Miz has improved, and we've called it out on the show. I think Adam Cole, in my eyes, has improved. Now, some people have always loved Adam Cole, so. But we are the type of show that says, hey, this guy isn't fucking worthy, and now he is. Matter of fact, New Japan fans used to be like that. AJ Styles. But for some reason, Jay White, it's okay because he did the same thing. But to me, I hope he improves and I hope he becomes a great wrestler. That will not change that this was by far the worst title decision in New Japan history. By far. Not even close. And I hope that the most talented guys in the company have the IWGP title. And right now, in my opinion, that option is 3. I think you have 3 people that can hold the title, and you can be like, yeah, those 3 are the best in the company. Naito, Okada, Ibushi. And if someone else wants to step up, bring it on. But right now, no one else is worthy.
I kind of yanked the leash and I pulled Dave back on the topic here, back into the super card here. Now, with the title changing hands and everything seemed to be all right with the world here, at least in New Japan. What did you give the show? Do you give it a win? Do you give it a loss? Or do you give it a tie?
This is a tough call because I do have some critiques. I am, granted, I'm a huge Okada fanboy, so that really saved the show a lot. I'm just giving it a win. I'm leaning towards weak win. It's definitely not a tie.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a win. I'm not giving it the strongest win ever. I'm not like, oh, fucking win. I want to apologize that I said I was going to do NXT and WrestleMania reviews, but just time got in the way, and By the time I finished watching, it was like too late. So I was like, I'll just wait for Boom Boom. But with that said, I agree. NXT was the best show that I saw. I did not see all of Bloodsport, and I did enjoy it. So Bloodsport kind of, and there's a couple events I didn't see. But out of the WWE New Japan shows, NXT stole the crown. They're the king of wrestling. They're the king of the weekend so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with what I did watch. It wasn't much, but what I did watch, yeah, NXT TakeOver was by and far the best. This show, I would give it like a weak win. Like if I was going to grade it, like if I was a teacher, grading it on a paper, I would probably give it like it was somewhere between like a 79 or an 80, out of 100. To me, it was just peaks and valleys. And I kind of walked away disappointed, the truth be told, because to me it felt like, and I'm going to get into why in just a second here, but it felt to me like when this card was announced. I mean, remember Ring of Honor had to get the fucking lawyers involved to get Madison Square Garden available for them to be booked, and this show sold out in 4 minutes. It's like we're going to see the best of Ring of Honor, we're going to see the best of New Japan, we're going to do this big super card. And to me, it was like, Coco, remember back when we were in school, not together, but when we were in school, and you'd have you would have like a group project. There'd be like 4 people together in a group. And it's like, okay, we've got this big report that we have to do. And you start divvying up the workload. Okay, you need to pull the research here. You need to start writing the first draft. You start doing all kinds of different things depending on what the assignment is. And then you've got this one guy who tends to do a little bit more than everybody else, and the one person who kind of slacks off and just really just maybe does like the bare minimum and but still puts their name on the paper, and they kind of benefit from your work. That's what I felt like Ring of Honor was. I felt like Ring of Honor, they're like, okay, good, we're in this big group here. I could slack off just a little bit. So they kind of took they kind of took a step back. And they kind of coasted off New Japan's hard work. That's the way I felt, because I felt like a lot of the New Japan stuff was like the highlights of it, and a lot of the Ring of Honor stuff was the lowlights of it. But when they worked together, it was pretty good. So
I just want to add something to that. I agree. It's not even Elite Corso. I agree with you 100%. It's the opposite of Elite Corso. That's a Max Kellerman. But I agree with you 100%. And the only thing that this showed was New Japan totally doesn't need Ring of Honor. They don't. An all New Japan show, the only highlight of Ring of Honor was the Will Ospreay match. After that, it was like, oh, here's Ring of Honor. I can't wait. And on top of that, the fact that they fucking did a run-in, and speak about bad timing, you had the Bret Hart run-in, and at the same time they did a work run-in. Yeah. What I found out, and I hope New Japan found out, is New Japan does not need Ring of Honor at all.
After this, and maybe tell me if I'm being a prick here, Coco, and feel free to tell me if I am, but
all right.
After this event, should New Japan really reconsider their partnership with Ring of Honor?
Yeah, it should be back. It should be. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You could have just treated it like it was Wrestle Kingdom. Have 1 or 2 Ring of Honor guys there, and that's it. There's no way that should have been a co-event.
But no, I understand, why, and I like the concept on paper was great. Execution was very lacking. And I really felt like, for the most part, I don't know whose fault it is, but fucking heads need to roll on the Ring of Honor side, because to me, that was goddamn embarrassing. Because, okay, I'm over here on this side of the Pacific here. I'm an American, and I'm very, very, I'm proud of like the wrestling that we've got here. And I think we've got some of the best wrestlers in the world over here. But when I say we, as Americans, showcased out to the rest of the fucking world. I don't want the rest of the fucking world thinking it's the goddamn circus over here. We've got good professional wrestlers, but what was showcased was goddamn pathetic. And I don't want people from, Japan, China, India, the UK, you name it. I don't want them thinking, oh, well, that's all what American wrestling is. It's just all fucking bullshit. It's all the fucking circus. It's all the fucking show. It's all, WWE wannabes. that to me, that's fucking embarrassing. If it just would have been showcased here in the U.S., maybe I could have dealt with it a little bit more. But there was an international audience, and to me, that was embarrassing because I don't want other people thinking American wrestling is just all the goddamn. It's the fucking circus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just every match I looked forward to was.
You know what? We're not going to spend too much time on this because it's been so long since it happened here. So, they started off with a 30-man honor rumble, and
great mood in Liger. Great mood in Liger.
Dude, I'm glad I avoided spoilers for this because I legitly popped number 30. The Great Muta comes out. And you should have seen it at my house because, I'm pretty much on this computer. I got my headphones on. My wife's, back on the couch watching TV, playing on their fucking phone. And then I go, holy shit. And you're like, what? I'm like, it's the Great Muta. Oh, shut up, woman. It's the Great Muta. The Great Muta came out, and we had like this big fucking moment. I mean, we had Minoru Suzuki come out there. We had Tomohiro Ishii, we had Roppongi 3K, we even had some like smaller, we had PJ Black, we had some, Ring of Honor guys that weren't so big, but they're still pretty good, like, like Jonathan Grisham, I really like. And I loved how a lot of these guys interacted. It was a lot of fun. And then we get to the end, and it's like all of a sudden it's just down to two. It's like it's Liger and Muta, and I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. Wait a minute, they're gonna let Liger win this. This is gonna be his farewell here in the U.S. And then out comes goddamn Kenny King. He was number one, comes out, throws him out, and I'm just like, I know they're a heel, he's a heel. I was like, it's still fucking shitty though. He rolled out of the fucking ring, and everybody lost track of him, and all of a sudden he wins the fucking rumble. It's like, oh, but he's a heel, get it? And I'm like, no, it was fucking shitty. It was lazy.
Yeah,
it was fucking lazy.
I think being a heel is an excuse to fucking just be horrible at your craft.
Mm-hmm.
And every time I see something shitty, and I'm not anti Kenny King, I'm not anti the decision, but anytime someone uses the excuse of something being shitty that it's a heel, I just followed up with apologize to Rick Rude.
Yes. Because
back in the day, being a heel didn't mean you fucking sucked. Being a heel doesn't mean that yeah. Because like that's the thing that I'm obsessed with this guy. This guy's the new John Cena in my eyes. But that was one thing that I hated about the Jay White defense. Well, he's a heel. Apologize to Rick Rude. Eventually I just didn't even explain why you're apologizing to Rick Rude. They're like, what? Jay White's a heel. That's why fucking people boo him. Apologize to Rick Rude. Apologize. So, yeah, being a heel doesn't mean you get to suck.
Yeah, exactly. Then they go into the main card here after a small break. They opened up, which I think was a great idea for an opener. It was title for title. Jeff Cobb versus Will Ospreay. Really good match. The only complaint I really have about it is I felt it went too short. It went just shy of 13 minutes, and I guess maybe I'm spoiled on New Japan stuff because I'm used to like stuff really playing out and going long. I was like, no, there's got to be more to that. There's got to be, and I guess maybe that's a good complaint to have is that you want more. And so I thought that was a great opener, a great way. Jeff Cobb picking up the win with a tour of the islands. I guess that means we're going to see more of Jeff Cobb in New Japan, which I welcome.
Yes.
I want to see, are they going to have Will Ospreay win it back at maybe like Dominion or something? They're going to have like a big showdown. Is this to free him up for a tournament? I want to see what happens. I mean, this is just, I think it was a great booking decision.
I agree with everything, but who is it the idea that we'll fucking advertise the winner goes against Taichi?
Who thought that was a good idea? It's like,
oh,
the winner's going to take on Taichi. You really want me? Come on, man. You want me to watch the next event?
Yeah. So, I enjoyed it. Let's go through this a little bit faster because we also have to do WrestleMania and some other news.
Okay, really quick. Next, Rush defeated Dalton Castle in like 19 seconds. One of the boys left his fan in the ring. Castle went to go, shoot it out of the ring, turns back around. Roosh hit him with this double knees, pinned him. I made him look like $1 million. Dalton Castle beat up the boys, then left. So you get Roosh, pronunciation, I know it counts. Roosh gets over as just like this monster, just a great athlete. Dalton Castle, hits bottom, looking like maybe we're going to do like a heel turn or a character change, which is something I felt like is needed. Kind of needs to be rebooted, especially after coming back from his injury. So no complaints about that.
Yeah, I love Dalton Castle, but I still found it to be entertaining. And it'll be interesting to see where he goes from there. But Dalton Castle, I know we busted ROH balls a lot here, but I do like Dalton Castle a lot. All right. Go ahead.
Next was the Women of Honor. Now, this is what I was really disappointed with because, again, international audience, New Japan does not have women's wrestling, and I felt like maybe that's something that should be showcased to show that can be good too. And I know it's different over in Japan because they got all the Joshi promotions, but this is something I felt like we should really showcase, especially how the women over here wrestle as opposed to how the Joshis wrestle in Japan. And I was completely disappointed, but we had Mayu Iwatani versus Kelly Klein. To me, this just looked horrible, and it kept getting worse. I don't know if it was like a communication issue. They were on two different levels as far as talent goes, but it was just like they were wrestling. It was like Kelly Klein was wrestling in slow motion. It was like Iwatani was being handcuffed. Kelly Klein looked absolutely horrible out there, but Kelly Klein hit K-Power, got the win, and then it got even worse, Coco. It got even worse. I
don't know. I was looking on Twitter.
Dude, okay, first of all, Kelly Klein, and I'm going to say this. I was hesitating to say this, but you know what? I got to be Boom Boom, and I got to be completely honest, is physique-wise, Kelly Klein looked horrible. And it's like, oh, Boom Boom's being misogynistic. Well, no. If it's not part of your gimmick, either you need to tone up or you need to cover it up. That's about your two options there. And before anybody says anything, I've said the same shit about Cassius Ohno, and I've said the same shit about Chase Owens. Either they need to tone up or cover up. And if it's part of your gimmick, like the Beer City Bruiser, that's one thing. But she just, she looked a little out of shape. And it was like everything she was wearing just a little bit too tight for what she was. You know what? If she's going to be that big, that's fine. I don't care. She's athletic. Yeah, she could probably kick my ass. There, I fucking said it. But just wear something that adjusts to, just your wardrobe to your body size. But that fucking out of the way. Match was slow. I don't know if it was a communication issue that they couldn't really communicate with each other in the ring, and that's why they went a little bit slower, or they're just two different levels, conditioning. I don't know, but it just didn't work for me. And I think it's sad because I think both women are incredibly talented. Yes, even Kelly Klein. Yes, I do think she's talented. But it just didn't work. And Kelly Klein got the win. And then afterwards, Angelina Love and Velvet Sky came out. And then they were confronting Kelly Klein, and it looked like Mandy Leon went out there and was going to go in and save her, but instead all three of them laid out Kelly Klein. They took some lipstick. They made a little anarchy symbol on her forehead. And as they were walking out, they popped up a graphic. They were going to call themselves the Allure. And the A in Allure is the little anarchy symbol. And this is just after Madison Rayne left. I think that's part of the reason why she left. Is that they were all going to jump her or whatever, and she didn't like it. That's why she packed her fucking shit and left. So Jenny Rose and Celebrity tried to come out there and save it. They didn't do it. Crowd fucking hated it. I think it was pathetic. I just really did not like it. I think if they were going to do that, I think they should have done that on the regular TV show and not in Madison Square Garden with God and everybody watching.
Yeah. All right. Boom Boom was a little harsh on Kelly Klein's looks. And I disagree. I don't think looks should matter. So, Booms, we disagree with one thing. But we both agree she fucking sucks. I don't give a fuck the way she looks. She should not be the champion of a fucking women's division and wrestle like that. Period. And maybe this was just a bad showing for her. Like, I remember watching this match going, oh man, this is going to be fucking great. I heard good stuff about Kelly Klein. She's going to be great. Didn't care what she looked like. I heard she was great. Maybe she is. But she shit the fucking bed tonight. Or this night. You know what I mean? And Booms, you might go attack her for her looks. That shit doesn't bother me at all.
Well, you know,
the lack of talent bothers me a lot.
And again, you know, as far as the looks goes, and I know, you know, you can't really do constructive criticism without being called all kind of nasty names, but, you know, and I'll pick, okay, fine then, I'll pick on myself. You know, yeah, I lost some weight, and then I started to put some back on. My pants were getting a little tight. Well, instead of just wearing fucking tight pants that, you know, my fucking gut was starting to bust over, you know what I did? I got bigger fucking pants because it fits my fucking body size. And you know what I'm doing? I'm in the fucking gym trying to lose that extra fucking weight. That's all I'm saying.
All I'm saying is I feel bad for the women's division. Mm-hmm. You might as well just not have one if they're not going to be.
Because after she lost, Owatani and Sumi Sakai were like, "Let's get the fuck out of here."
Yeah. All right, let's keep hitting up more.
Try to keep it. Next, we had Mega Ran. He was performing. Bully Ray came up and interrupted. This was supposed to be a street fight just between Bully Ray and Juice Robinson, but Juice Robinson had been jumped before the show, and he said he did it. He had done it, so he didn't have to fight Juice Robinson. And then it just went completely downhill from there. It's who's he gonna fight, and it turned into like Bully Ray, Silas Young, and Shane Taylor versus the returning Flip Gordon, Mark Haskins, and Juice Robinson. This went on fucking forever. It was horrible. It was use of kendo sticks, and Bully Ray complaining about getting his balls hurt.
Can we just say it sucked and moved on?
It just sucked.
Nothing good came out of this.
It just spent way too long. And I think one thing that irks me about this is Juice Robinson got jumped before the show. And it's like, oh no, he won't be able to make the show. He won't be able to make the match. And he comes out and he's just fucking fine. Just fucking fine. I'm like, well, that was kind of pointless then. You could have done nothing and it still would have made sense.
There was nothing good out of this. Is it safe to say?
Yeah, there's
nothing. There's nothing at all. I would just rather just cancel it. Mm-hmm. I just want to do something real quick. The J-Rock Freak says, I personally didn't mind the ROH parts because I like to get other opinions because me and Boom Booms are really beating up ROH. So let's hear J-Rock out. I personally didn't mind the ROH parts that much. I did enjoy the world title match and the women's match, but also every review I've seen, people thought ROH was weak during the show. The invasion sucked.
Oh, I'm getting to that goddamn abortion quickly.
But I just want it because, like, sometimes I like to hear another voice when me and Boom Boom agree too much.
Yeah, you know? No, absolutely. You know, you're entitled. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Next, we got to a match here. It was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title match. It was Taiji Ishimura versus Dragon Lee versus Bandito. My only complaint about this is this one I felt like went way too fucking short. After having to sit through that goddamn fucking 6-man street fight and have to watch the fucking former beautiful people come out and team up with Mandy Leon, I really felt like if they would have cut a lot of that shit out, this match would have been better because the fact that you've got 3 of the best cruiserweights in the world and you don't even give them 10 minutes that is goddamn disgraceful. It was a great match, don't get me wrong, but just like the opening match between Cobb and Ospreay, I wanted more. I wanted to see more. I just felt like it was just way too rushed. I mean, great match. Lee hit his finishing maneuver on Bandito, pinned him, and he becomes the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. So I kind of see where I was kind of confused, but I kind of see where they're going. Is Taiji Ishimura saves face because he loses his belt without getting pinned or submitted. Dragon Lee picks up the belt, so that means he's guaranteed to be in the J Cup, or the best of the Super Juniors, excuse me. Bandito, I think he's a shoo-in to be in the best of the Super Juniors. And I think they're setting it up for a showdown between Dragon Lee and Hamaru Takahashi. which I think is going to be insane because I'm hoping that'll be his match. That'll be his. That will be either the finals or that'll be the first challenger. So again, great match. I just wanted more.
Yeah, I agree. I know that, but I'm looking on Wikipedia. This 6-man shit fest was 15 minutes long. The Dragon Lee match, was under 6 seconds under 9 minutes.
Yeah, they didn't even give him 10 minutes, and which to me I think is fucking disgraceful.
Yeah.
Especially seeing the 2 previous segments we just seen. Next, we had the Ring of Honor and IWGP tag titles on the line. You had the Guerrillas of Destiny versus Villain Enterprises versus the Briscoes versus LIJ. Now, Coco, I am gonna eat just a little bit of crow on this one. Not we're not talking a whole crow, but just like a quarter of crow. Maybe we're talking like like a chicken, like a wing. Maybe this crow that I'm gonna eat. I really wanted this to be a one-on-one match, and I know they did a title change, so that way that Villain Enterprises would have a reason for being there. But okay, one, I got to say, they botched PCO's entrance because that really wasn't planned out because you saw them bring out like this electric chair, nobody's there. Then they had to get PCO to come in there, get in it. Then they had to have Destro bring them to life and the whole, electricity sound effects. It went on way too fucking long. I think, they probably could have cut some of this stuff out and been fine or gave it to the cruiserweight match. But anyway, they went out there. It was actually a pretty decent match, all things considered, but it did devolve into a little bit of a clusterfuck, as we fucking predicted. One spot that really got me was when PCO got powerbombed from the inside to the outside with nothing breaking his fall. No table, no other people. I mean, literally straight to the fucking outside. No fucking padding, no fucking nothing. That was just insane. Wow. Anyway, there was a gun stun on Brody King. They hit the super bomb. The Guerrillas of Destiny hit the super bomb on Brody King. They get the win. So the Guerrillas of Destiny now wear the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships and the IWGP Heavyweight Championships now. Yano came out. They were like looking for the IWGP belts, and it turns out Yano had stolen them, and so they're going to go with that. But it was what happened afterwards that drew a lot of criticism. So they led us to believe that maybe this was a shoot, but Enzo Amore and Big Cass jumped the rail, got in a fight with the Briscoes. Bully Ray came down there. They started slugging it out. And I will give credit to Ring of Honor because they tried to make it look as legit as possible because they didn't bring the cameras over there. The commentary team did not want to, bring it up. They didn't. Well, we're not going to get. They're trying to jump the rail, get some attention. Well, we're not going to give it to them. And then you come to find out from, I guess the insiders, the dirt sheets, that it was complete total work. But there was a division because like the writers, like the people on the ground, didn't want Enzo Amore and Big Cass, but the higher ups did, so it led to this. Afterwards, I don't know if you've seen it on New Japan World, but afterwards you saw both the Guerrillas of Destiny come back. They were either they're really good at acting or I'm a fucking mark or whatever, but they, to me, look legitimately fucking pissed about all this. They threw the Ring of Honor tag team titles up against the wall. They called it the bullshit title. They were pissed. They were saying, okay, Enzo Amore and Big Cass attacked the losers of the match, and then they still had energy to fight them, which leads us to believe you weren't giving it your all. Bully Ray, you supposedly just got your ass kicked in a street fight, but you came out there. You still had energy to fight these two guys. And so it leads me to believe you weren't giving it at all. Why should we fucking care? I mean, he brought up a good point. Why should we fucking care about your tag team title belts if your guys aren't going to put in their 100% effort? Because we do in New Japan.
Yeah.
I know there's a lot to unpack. But Coco, you have the floor.
Um, I, and it's the what if time machine. Why? How much would have this been better if it was the Briscoes versus the Gorillas of Destiny?
I think that would have been great. That would have been just
It's
fine.
just you know what it is. To me, I think New Japan, booking wise, saw this as a big event, and ROH said this is a good way to set up future storylines. And to me, you're in Madison Square Garden. This may never happen. Like
Yeah, it may not happen again.
as a fan, this was a huge, groundbreaking, historical event. And you're acting like it's a setup show for what? For what? You may never get the Gorilla of Destiny to fight the Briscoes title for title ever again. I don't know. And I don't hate Enzo and Big Cass. I hated them at first, but then I enjoyed them. With that said, they should be nowhere near the New Japan roster and Ring of Honor roster.
Mm-mm.
It's just silly. It's silly talk. You know what I mean?
Supposedly they've been signed.
What's that?
So supposedly they've been signed.
Yeah, I know. So
and I just think it's kind of sad because it's like you've got two companies. I mean, technically four because you had CML guy in there and of course a Rev Pro guy in there. And it's like you've got all these styles coming together, some of the best talents in the world, and it's still kind of tainted because here's some former WWE guys that we're going to use to get ourselves over with, and I'm just like, it's so fucking bush league.
yeah. That it is. I think New Japan went into this event saying, I want to show the world what we got. And Ring of Honor went into the event going, well, we know what you want. You want superstar. You know what I mean? I think Ring of Honor fell in for the TNA trap. We'll get fans by being just like WWE.
Mm-hmm. Of those two, okay. Big Cass, maybe. I can understand. I would probably be less hesitant to give a shot because he got fired because he made a horse's ass of himself on a tour. He broke the door down on a bus, the restroom door down on a bus, was being like kind of an asshole. And even he kind of acknowledged like, okay, I would have fired me too. It's like, yeah, looking back, I did the wrong things. I'm sorry. To me, we've all been young and dumb and done stupid stuff that we regret. We kind of learn from it. And it seems like he's learned from it too. He's apologized. It's like, okay, we can move forward with this. You did something wrong. You owned it. You apologized for it. I can work with you. We can move forward. But Enzo Amore, my God, he's got more fucking baggage and goddamn Samsonite. He is just a fucking mess. And to me, he brings more troubles than he does solutions. I mean, it's just, okay, let's throw it out there. The rape allegations. Yes. There was not enough evidence to even bring charges against him. He was not charged, wasn't even brought to a grand jury. So as far as the letter of the law is concerned, right now he is innocent until, proven guilty. But that aside, his personal history of behavior, attitude issues, to me, I just don't think it's worth it. I just think he's too big of a pain in the ass, and it's really going to come back to bite Ring of Honor in the ass.
Well, that, and also when you pick up these WWE guys, which I hope AEW does, it has to fit. They have to fit in your vision. Right. And I think TNA's biggest downfall, and a lot of people are saying it's improving, so we got to put that asterisk. I haven't watched it. A lot of people say TNA is improving. But one of their biggest downfalls is they didn't have an image. They'll just take any WWE guy and put it in there. And I'm not saying don't take WWE guys, but only take WWE guys that fit your image. Like, here's an example. If you're Ring of Honor and you get Shelton Benjamin, you get Kurt Angle, you get
right now is PJ Black.
Yeah.
He's a WWE guy, but he fits their image. He kind of fits the stuff.
Like, if you had a pick, let's just say 100%, and Eddie Guerrero makes a hell of a lot more sense than a John Cena. You know what I mean? You have to know what your image is, and I think this is hurting it. We'll get to your live comments in a bit. I see some interesting comments from Jason and J Rock, but we're gonna get to it. Overall, I can just say I don't hate it as much as other people do, but to me, it's just disappointing. You know what I mean? Like, oh, so that's it.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at you, ROH. I'm disappointed at you.
Yeah. J-Rock Freak said, do you guys hear Tama Tonga's post-match interview? He shit all over Ring of Honor about the invasion, and it was brilliant because he made some great points. Oh, absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah. And also earlier his thing, he's like, here's the thing. I don't know what happened to the internet, but you can have different opinions and like different things, and it's okay. Like, I bust Jay White's balls a lot. Maybe I went a bit overboard. But do you know, like, there's legit Twitter people that I've talked to that are, like, legit angry at me? Like, oh, you went too far. Like, we don't have to have the same opinion. And when this channel was more popular, it was a conversation. And hopefully we can get back to that. I know a lot of people like I predicted it. I was right. Oh, fucking my way or the highway. And sometimes that slips out, but we're usually doing it sarcastically. But yeah, no, J-Rock, you can love the Ring of Honor segments. It's like, yeah, so there you go. And then Jason said a bunch about steroids, but I figured we could hit those comments up after.
Right. Next, we had the Rev Pro British Heavyweight title match. You had the champion Zack Sabre Jr. defending against Hiroshi Tanahashi. Again, another great match. I really enjoyed it. I don't know what it is, but you put these two together. In a world where people really don't like technical wrestling, Zack Sabre Jr., the way he wrestles, the way he transitions from, it's just fucking hypnotic, and I just find him just an absolute joy to watch. Hiroshi Tanahashi. The guy's pushing 50, and he still wrestles at a high level, even with an injury. Now, from what I understand, Zack Sabre Jr. wins with like a submission, kind of like a version of Napalm Death. Tanahashi can't tap, so he has to verbally tap. Great work. It's looking like Tanahashi's taking some time off for elbow injury.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I just want to do one comment. A, I enjoyed the match. B, I really thought Tanahashi was going to win. I just thought it would have been a huge match in England. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With that said, and I was wrong about that. I felt strongly. I thought for sure he was going to win. But with that said, I just want to hit one thing. You're like, a lot of people don't like technical wrestling, and that's not true. Technical wrestling done right is amazing. There's too many fucking shitty wrestlers, definitely on the indie scene, that because they suck, they say they're technical wrestlers. Like, here's the thing. If you're going to see a non-talented fucking loser, and you'd rather see it in hardcore or cruiserweight action, because then in cruiserweight action, you're like, yeah, there's that non-talented guy flipping around. Then you see a hardcore match. Like, there's that non-talented guy getting smashed in the head with a garbage can. But non-talented technical wrestling is fucking boring. And being a shitty fucking wrestler doesn't mean you're technical. It just means you can't fucking wrestle. And the fact that so many fucking shitty pro wrestlers out there say they're technical wrestlers actually hurt the image of technical wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Let's go to the next match.
All right, next match here. This, in my opinion, was probably match of the night. Tetsuya Naito versus Kota Ibushi. Just fucking watch the match. If you haven't seen it, just fucking stop what you're doing and go watch this match. A lot of twists and turns. I didn't know which way they were going to go with this because Naito's trying to make history. He wants to be the first dual champion in New Japan history. Kota Ibushi, getting this big opportunity after defeating Naito in the first round of the New Japan Cup. These two fucking delivered. My favorite part is when Naito starts screwing around with Ibushi, and then you just see like that switch flip on Ibushi, and he just gets all fucking serious, and he's fucking just starts hitting you with all kinds of just, crazy moves and shit. Anyway, he hits the last ride power bomb, followed up with a Kamigoye. Kota Ibushi wins. These two are among, I think, along with Okada, are the best in the fucking world right now. Just absolutely amazing match. This made the pay-per-view worth it, in my opinion. Just this one match.
I agree with these are the only three guys that should be in the main event. You add Okada, that's it. And then here's the thing. The other guys, I don't want to shit on them as much as I shit on Jay White. A lot of it's comedy, but a lot of it's like, real, this guy shouldn't be fucking champion. But those three guys, they're the only ones that should be touching that title until someone steps up to be the fourth guy. That's it. And this was match of the night, and I look forward to it. And it's kind of interesting because I was like, who is going to get the Wrestle Kingdom match? You know what I mean? There's three. I don't want to see a three-way. Gato. Yeah.
Well, I got a question here.
All right.
We just said that we said Okada, Ibushi, and Naito are the three best wrestlers in the world, right? Or among
in New Japan.
Yeah, okay, in New Japan. Okay. Wrestle Kingdom is going to be 2 nights.
All right.
Who's to say that Okada doesn't go into Wrestle Kingdom, the champion, and either A, defeats one of them, then has to face the other one the next night, or somebody defeats Okada the first night of Wrestle Kingdom and has to turn around and defend it the next night against the third guy.
A possibility, but the only thing is marketing that is going to be hard. But who knows? Maybe they can pull it off. So,
and by the way, congratulations to Kota Ibushi. I mean, the reason why this is a big deal is because Ibushi was always like that fucking leprechaun you never could fucking catch. Because, I mean, how do you deal with a guy where, money's really not that big of a deal? His thing was happiness. He didn't want to be tied down. And so it made it damn near impossible to fucking sign him to a fucking contract. Well, whoever with New Japan, give them credit. That should be their fucking Christmas bonus. They managed to get Kota Ibushi signed to at least a 2-year deal, and now they're able to actually do big stuff with him. They're able to put championships on him because they know he's not going to fucking bolt next month. So this is huge. I mean, this is a huge vote of confidence. He's very popular, and I wish him the best of luck.
Yeah. Booms, I'm getting really tired, so I'm gonna get these two. I just want to say, there's not much to say about WrestleMania. Sorry, I live in Japan and it's getting late and I have to work. I'm just gonna give my quick opinions on WrestleMania. I want to read the comments and do these 2 matches, and then you can do whatever you want. Okay, brother?
Okay.
All right. So hit the 2 matches, and the WrestleMania thing's gonna be short as hell because I'm just so sorry. Sorry, I just want to apologize to the audience and Boom Boom. I've been a little cranky the last couple answers, but it's just because I've been working a lot over here. Japan, it's getting late. So go ahead, Boom. Sorry about that. I just want to.
Oh, that's fine. Real quick, Ring of Honor title match, 3-way, Jay Lethal versus Marty Scurll versus Matt Taven. In my opinion, probably one of the better ladder matches I've seen, solely because not everybody raced for the ladder immediately. They tried to beat everybody down. Also, when they climb, one thing I hate about ladder matches is when people climb, they forget how to climb a ladder. They get about halfway, they kind of stick their hand up, and they try to come up, and then they stick their hand up. In this one, they were immediately stopped from climbing up the ladder, or if they weren't, there was a reason why. I mean, Scurll, had he tweaked his knee, so he had to hop on one foot. Made sense. Taven about got his fingers snapped off at the top of the ladder, so he really couldn't grab a hold of anything, so he fell off. That made sense. They did some contraptions, but Matt Taven wins by knocking Jay Lethal off the ladder onto the structure, gets the win. I think it was perfectly paced. I think it had a great win. And Coco, I've been wanting to ask this question to you all week since I saw this. I know you were a booker at one point, so I wanted to ask you. Matt Taven is someone who's been with Ring of Honor for the longest time. He's now a Grand Slam champion. He's won every championship that they have to offer now. And it's also a vote of confidence. Now, you as a booker, promoter, have you ever been there when there was a guy that was maybe part of your promotion, no matter which one it was, that, was literally on the ground floor, stayed loyal, worked their ass off, and finally you just called their number. You just pointed and said, "Kid, you got some good responses. I'm going to take a chance here. You're going to be the champion." Have you ever had to do that?
Oh, yeah, but the timing is very important. You can't. You have to feel like he earns it. You have to feel like he's some of the best in the world. There's a right place and a right time to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's something, and I don't know, this might be douchey, but it's something a lot of bookers / promoters don't do is feel out the audience. The audience will tell you. A lot of times they'll force a Jay White on us. They'll force a Roman Reigns on us. They'll force a John Cena on us. But if you feel out the audience and it's done right, it's magical. Kofi is really close, but the problem with Kofi is the magic happened too soon. So they had to drag it out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it is possible. It is done. I did it. The first person that comes to mind is Eddie Torres. And with Eddie Torres, we basically became I don't know. I'll go into my booking days overall, but basically, Eddie Torres was basically a tag team wrestler. Started off really low down the totem pole and became a main eventer. But in the main event that he won the title, no one was told what was going to happen, including Eddie Torres. And he hits, I don't quote me on this. I have the worst memory in the world. It's been a long time. But he hit a 5-star splash, I guess, a frog splash. I don't fucking know. And Bruce Santee supposed to kick out at 2. And Santee knew, the referee knew, but Eddie didn't know. And they counted to 3, and Bruce held him down. And that was a genuine fucking confused, upset reaction. Sideshow, but he was kind of a star already. But yeah, it happens a lot, and you build them up.
Just
but
backstage, what is kind of the react? I mean, not in that case, but in that kind of react. What kind of reaction do you see? It's just like, all right, kid, I'm calling your number.
If you run the locker room right and you book right, they will start coming to you. Like you'll start getting whispers. Like, all right, let's just use Kofi Kingston. If you run the show right and you run the locker room right, which is very hard to do for a lot of people, wrestlers will come up to you and be like, "Why isn't Kofi Kingston champ? It's Kofi Kingston's time. You have to put the belt on him." And then the fans will fucking feel it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I think good booking is, long-term booking, but also feeling the fucking crowd. You know what I mean? Like you got to know when to pull the trigger, when not to pull the trigger. I don't know. It's pretty amazing feeling. As far as Matt Taven, I don't watch enough Ring of Honor. If he's a Grand Slam champion, I did not see that fucking coming at all.
Over the course of his career, when he first debuted, he was the Ring of Honor World Television Champion. He was part of, he was half of the tag team champions with, I think it was Bennett, Maria Kanellis' husband, with the Kingdom. Eventually became, redid the Kingdom, became a co-holder of the 6-man titles. And now, I mean, this is over a course of almost a decade here. So it's not like he did all this stuff in like 2 fucking years, but over the course of time, I mean, he's a Grand Slam champion.
I don't watch enough Ring of Honor. I'm just gonna say for me, I didn't feel it. But in the defense of that, I just don't watch enough Ring of Honor. Right. I mean, I'll check in every now and then. I basically watch Ring of Honor if New Japan is there, and if I have a lot of free time or it's really hot. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have a thing with Ring of Honor where I'm like, hey, I'll watch it for a year, take some time off. Watch it for a year, take some time off. Oh, New Japan's down? I'll watch it. You know what I mean? So I don't think I could, when it comes to him being champ, I don't think I could give a fair judgment because I don't watch enough. You know what I mean? So there you go. All right.
All right,
Main events.
main event. I'll just make it real short, sweet, and simple, as we spoiled at the top of the show. Well, not really a spoiler because it's been almost a fucking week. But Okada defeated Jay White to regain the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. It just started off kind of slow, as I expected. About the first 15 minutes was just them trying to fill each other out. Then it kind of picked up. I did think there was a couple of really good spots, like when Okada hit Jay White flush with that Rainmaker, and then White kicked out. I was like, oh shit, don't tell me they're going to fucking like pull the swerve here and have White retain, because he hit shortly thereafter the Blade Runner on Okada, but Okada, thank God, kicked out. And then eventually it went, they started trading chops, and he did like, Okada countered White to a tombstone, picked him back up, hit him with a Rainmaker, gets the pin. Pretty good, I guess, pretty good ending. And then just afterward, that they could just kind of quickly rush to get off air. But I really think that was the right call.
Yeah, I'm just happy Okada's the champion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just, because like sometimes I do it for funny effect, but also I feel it. So it's like kind of when you're trying to do something for fun, and then you're also like, dude, this you kind of passionate about it. It almost becomes the part of fucking like you become a character. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's like in a million years, I'll never think the timing for him winning the title in a million years. Long-term booking, that's a fucking joke. It's a goddamn joke. And the third thing is just I'm glad it's back because I love New Japan, and people defending him just shocked me. You know what I mean? Like I honestly, like, here's the thing. I don't think I would have busted his balls as much if the Western fans just weren't so supportive of him. You know what I mean? It was like, oh, this is a horrible fucking decision, right, guys? And like, no, everything's awesome. And you're like, because like, dude, there was YouTubers that fucking basically said Jay White sucks a dick. He wins the title, and all of a sudden he became better. And I maybe went too far, but with that said, I invited everyone out on YouTube. Everyone that I fucking knew. I sent out open invitations. Debate me if you think Jay White's a good fucking champion. And poor Boom Boom just had to listen to me complain where he was like, I don't even know if I disagree with you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it should be interesting. Overall, I give it a win, but maybe we built it up too much in our imaginations, or maybe the AEW guys were more important than we thought. So I just want to see New Japan have all New Japan shows with Ring of Honor guys making appearances. That's what I want in the future to go into America. All right, Booms, let's some live comments, and then I'll let you take over after live comments because I'm going to hit the rack, brother. Sorry about being so cranky.
Oh, that's just you being you.
Yeah.
Let's see here. It looks like Naito may be getting the next shot at the IWGP Heavyweight title based on the Saturday's event coming up. That's from Rick 1982, maybe. Do you see Zack Sabre Jr. taking the Intercontinental title from Ibushi on April 20th? I do not, because I just don't see them playing hot potato with the belt right now.
Yeah, it's not the IWGP title.
Yeah. Who do you see going to the main roster from NXT during the upcoming Superstar shakeup? Kairi Sane looks to be one of those call-ups. I'm thinking that's who. Isn't that who is?
I just do the opposite. I root for people not to be called up.
Oh,
I really enjoy NXT. And a long time ago, I was young and stupid. I'm like, oh, when they get called up from NXT, they're going to do awesome on WWE and it'll turn things around. Now I'm just like, oh, God, they left. Poor bastards. Poor bastards. So, I don't know. I feel like NXT is a great team being picked apart by a fucking shitbag organization. It reminds me of Boob's World. It reminds me of ECW guys leaving for WCW and WWE. You still love them, but you know their careers are going downhill.
Oh yeah.
All right.
As far as who I could see going, God, I mean that's just that's a tough one. I mean, I thought Shayna Baszler was going to go, but she retained the championship. I definitely think the Sky Pirates might go. I think they might be that mystery tag team. I could see the Undisputed Era all going. I could see, God, who? Well, no, Johnny Gargano is going to stay put for right now. There's just a handful. There's a handful of people I could maybe see going, but those are people who just really jump out at me right off the top of my head.
All right, hit up some more, brother.
All right, hit them up. I'm trying to do lightning round here. Let's see. That we already talked about that.
I want you to read Jason's comments because he brings up a lot of great points. Do you want me to read them to you?
Yeah, go right ahead.
All drugs have an overall effect of injuring the body. I agree with that. You get to a certain point without roids. Roids brings you past that point. I agree with that. Kingston's chest is probably nerve damage like Jericho or Steiner. I don't know enough to comment on that, but it's a possibility. Yes, there are significant differences in health in how you take steroids, and I think that's true. I think a lot of people just like, oh, everything's horrible. But you got to be completely honest. If you don't abuse it, it's not. It's just very hard not to abuse it. Overall, there's much less roid use in WWE NXT than years past, but there's still a good amount there. Yeah, I could go with that. But I think it's only there because of the PR nightmare. We already read that. I see roid usage in Mexico and Japan as well. I don't know what the laws are in Mexico are anymore, but in the past, this is where people got a lot of gear/juice roids at. Yeah. And in Japan, it's really common. I heard a rumor that Bully Ray booked the ROH part of the show. Well, then he should give up. All right. Up to Heavy J. You take over, brother.
I said Vice just put up a Bruiser Brody documentary on YouTube. It's really good. Check it out.
Boobs. Let's try to watch it and review it because I find it to be really interesting. I wonder, because I know a lot about the situation, I wonder if it's only good, kind of like the John Oliver thing. John Oliver, he did something about WWE, and like all the fans knew about it, but he brought it to the public. I wonder if this documentary is kind of like that. I'm hoping there's stuff that we learn,
Yeah.
But go on.
New Japan needs to sign Rush, Bandito, and Cobb and cut ties with Ring of Honor. Yeah, well, easier said than done because Ring of Honor pretty much just hired all three of them. So I don't know how long their contracts are, and I doubt they're going to let New Japan would have. For that to happen, New Japan would have either those guys would have to get out of their contracts, or New Japan would have to buy out their contracts and then turn around and offer them a new contract, which is more trouble than what it's fucking worth. And you don't want to do that with a company. And as far as cutting ties with Ring of Honor, I would reconsider their partnership right now at this point. I just think it was just, but I don't know if I would cut ties with them.
I would just have it's New Japan show. We'll let your guys on. That's the type of partnership they should have right now. And if Ring of Honor is like, no, we're equals, that's when it's going to get ugly.
To me, if we get more of the Jay White that we saw on Saturday, Jay White will be okay, but not IWGP okay. So, yeah, all right.
I can agree with that statement, even though I am over the top with it.
I mean, he's good, but I just don't think he's at that level yet.
Exactly. And that's a fair statement. Like, if you say that, then I'm like, okay, I got nothing to complain about. But if you're like, oh, no, he's better than Omega. Oh, he's just like Okada. We have nowhere to even fucking debate. I just walk away. I'm like, good luck with that, sir. You know what I mean? Like, there's a point where, like, your visions are so off that you might as well end the conversation.
All right. From Heavy J, apparently Road Dogg quit as SmackDown Live head writer.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think it came out sometime last night or early this morning. It's just that he's resigned. He's been handling it since 2014. And the story, and it goes reportedly that the Road Dogg's been frustrated with changes made to the scripts by McMahon himself, and just finally hit some kind of breaking point in Brooklyn on Tuesday, and just we don't know who's going to take over yet.
All right.
Let's see, Nick.
You want me to just hit it real quick?
Yeah, I'm hitting. I'm just trying to find my place here. Wrestling nuts. I've been watching New Japan Pro Wrestling. I like it, but do you guys think there needs to be a women division? I would say no, because they've got Joshi divisions.
Yeah.
In Japan.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, sir.
And I was going to say, where are you going to pull the talent from? And the only thing you're going to do is start hurting those divisions. And if you're not going to give it your full attention and dedication, I wouldn't do it. Because, I mean, sometimes look at, like, the fucking shit that you see on, like, AAA, where they just kind of have shit out there just to fucking have it. You know, unless you're going to dedicate, go with it full head of steam, I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah, as far as the women division, I have mixed feelings. Because I do like the Yoshi division. I love Stardom. Stardom's my cup of tea. And there's a part of me that's like, oh, cool, the women would do great, but Stardom would suffer, you know? But also, would they do a great job? Ring of Honor, I don't think has done a great job with women's wrestling so far. I don't know, because I live in Japan and I go to the events live. Would I want to see Stardom lose female wrestlers to just be on the card to fill a quota? That's a tough call for me. You know what I mean? Or, I don't know. I'm okay either way, but the fact that you're like, they have to, and you don't watch Stardom, it's kind of like, I don't know if your opinion holds that much weight. But I actually have mixed feelings because I'd rather see no women's division than a bad women's division. ROH, 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 ROH. Did I say ROH?
Yeah.
Go.
Do you think Jeff Cobb is going to be the world champion someday? I think he's strong. I think he is strong. He's former Lucha Underground champion. Yeah, I could buy him as a heavyweight champion.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it depends on the company and timing, but yeah.
Always in WWE someday.
I don't know.
WWE, that's a different story. New Japan, yeah, maybe. Ring of Honor, yes. WWE, I wouldn't hold my breath. I would probably say the IC title is about as high as he could go.
Yeah. He says he likes Jay White. I mean, you can like Jay White. Just admit that he shouldn't have been champion, and we'll be fine. No, I'm just kidding. You can have your own opinions. I'm just always shocked. Maybe it's because I'm so passionate, or maybe it's because it's like a one-sided conversation. But I'm always so shocked that people are like, I fucking been following you for 27 years, and now we have a different opinions, and I fucking hate you. It's like, all right.
Let's see. He also likes Tyler Bate. He thinks he's got a great future. No disagreements there. Ricardo Edwards says, will the Ring of Honor world titles become vacant since it looks like God doesn't want them? I mean, this could be, it could be a complete total work. You know, it could be, but no, I don't see them vacating it. I think they're going to milk that partnership, and I think this will be used for something in the future. But no, I don't think they'll vacate them.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings, to be completely honest. As a title, I guess, I don't know. I'm a little romantic about the titles. The part of me is like, the champ should lose, you know. But also, there's a part of me that's like, dude, this fucking sucks so bad. Keep your fucking titles. They're worthless garbage now. You know, so I don't know. I have mixed feelings, you know, because I'm like, oh, the title should be more important. Then Shane Douglas throws it in the trash can. I'm like, this is fucking amazing. Or not trash can, but throw it down.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So I don't know. I am completely.
Well, plus, there's another thing. If they throw the championships up against the wall, call them the bullshit title, we got something to fucking talk about now.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. I'm gonna read these two. Give a quick WrestleMania, then I'm out. Boobs. All right.
You have the floor. Go right ahead.
I don't. Sorry, man. That's just I'm really getting sleepy.
Oh, go for it.
I don't like New Japan United States Championship belt. Do you think they should call it Japan Championship or the United States Championship? Well, no, I don't think so because they're trying to come into America. I do think it should be more an American title, but yeah, I don't know. I'm okay with it. Cobb said WWE didn't want him. Yeah, that sounds about right. WWE is weird. I don't know about Stardom wrestling companies in Japan. I am a big fan, and there's a lot of great women's wrestling here in Japan. So, Booms, I'm going to leave you on this, and then I'm going to exit, and you take over. Okay, brother?
All right, go ahead.
Make sure to plug stuff and do whatever you want.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to do a WrestleMania recap show. Booms is still studying 27 hours of documentary. I think this one sentence sums it up best. It was good. It was way too long. I think that sums up everyone's review. You know, was it perfect? No. Was it long? Yes. Was it shit? No. And there's your WrestleMania 35 recap. What? Either subscribe to what culture? Completely understand. All right. Wrestling Rented subscriber count just went up and we lost a bunch. Makes perfect sense now. But yeah, maybe we'll talk WrestleMania. It's just, I don't know what to say except it was good and long. Context is everything.
Yes, thank you.
Booms, I love you, brother. Make sure to plug Coco Plays at least 76 times.
Okay.
All right, the floor is yours, brother. Much love. Internet Infantry, thank you. I'm out.
All right. Real quick, I'll just take any more comments that you may have. Yeah, I do kind of agree. Maybe they should. I understand they call it the United States, IWGP United States Championship. I kind of wish they would call it maybe like the North American Championship, because I mean it encompasses more than just the United States, because they're trying to expand. They've got alliances in Mexico. They've got people in Canada, so it makes a little bit more sense to do that. But yeah. All right, so that's going to do it. Yeah, by the way, I'm well aware about the writer who got fired by Vince McMahon because Bret Hart brought up Vince's name, and the writer took responsibility for it and just fired him during the fucking Hall of Fame. So anyway, that's going to do it for us. Hopefully we'll get on here a little bit later and as soon as some more news breaks. So anyway, be sure to check us out, KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com, your home for combat sports, where the world goes kick-ass. Most importantly, where it's okay to be a passionate fan. Be sure to like, subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. We're doing shows all the times, but we're kind of doing it inconsistently. So make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when we're coming live. If we didn't get to your questions or comments, I apologize, but leave a comment down here in the comments section. We'll be more than glad to get to you there. Be sure to subscribe to Coco Plays, where you can watch Coco Plays Okada on Fire Pro Wrestling and also watch him play NHL hockey. Hopefully he's moving to Twitch soon. You can follow him there, buy his book, Operation Freak Show, available on Amazon.com. And that's going to do it for us, kids. So until next time, the boom just went banging. I am